Made in Korea. This sci-fi drama from 2021 by Jeremy Holt and George Shaw isn't about killer robots or a dystopian war. It's an intimate story about family, identity, and the quiet anxieties of artificial intelligence. It follows Jessie, a 9-year-old Korean AI child, known as a proxy, who is adopted by American parents in a near future where synthetic children have become a solution to widespread infertility. The story uses its sci-fi premise as a powerful metaphor for the transracial adoptee experience, a perspective rooted in writer Jeremy Holt's own life. Unlike bombastic AI apocalypse stories, this is a quiet, character-driven drama. Its grounded reality makes the questions it asks about consciousness, belonging, and cultural displacement feel urgent and personal. Its lo-fi sci-fi aesthetic and dual setting in suburban Texas and corporate Seoul make it perfect for a prestige limited series, resonating with viewers who love films like After Yang. It's also crucial to note this comic is entirely separate from the 2025 Disney Plus K-drama that coincidentally shares its title, making it a unique and available property ready for adaptation. Black Hole. From near-future sci-fi, we pivot to 1970s suburban dread. Charles Burns' masterpiece, Black Hole, isn't just a comic. It's a slow-burn body horror epic that ran from 1995 to 2005. It's set in Seattle, where a sexually transmitted disease called the bug spreads among teenagers. But this isn't a typical illness. It causes grotesque, surreal physical mutations, a second mouth, a tail, or shedding skin. The infected become social pariahs, forming their own society in the woods. Burns uses the visceral horror as a raw, unflinching metaphor for the anxieties of adolescence, sexuality, and social alienation. The stark high-contrast black and white art is iconic, creating a clinical yet nightmarish atmosphere that's impossible to forget. After years in development hell, a series adaptation is finally happening at Netflix, with visionary director Jane Schoenbrun at the helm. For a generation raised on Stranger Things, but hungry for something darker and more psychologically complex, Black Hole is poised to become a cultural event that pushes the boundaries of coming-of-age horror. I hate this place. If Black Hole represents prestige dread, our next entry is pure chaotic fun. I Hate This Place by Kyle Starks and Artyom Topolin is a supernatural horror comedy that asks, what if a haunted house was also infested with aliens, cryptids, and dimensional portals? The 2022 series follows Trudy and Gabby, a lesbian couple who inherit a remote farmhouse hoping for a quiet life. Instead, they find their new home is a magnet for every paranormal nightmare imaginable. But instead of running, they decide to fight back, defending their property with a mix of exasperation and sheer grit. The series perfectly balances genuine scares with irreverent, laugh-out-loud humor and a genuinely touching relationship at its core. Its modern, inclusive storytelling and Monster of the Week potential make it ideal for a serialized streaming show. With a survival horror video game adaptation already on the way from Skybound, the property is clearly on Hollywood's radar, offering a fresh, high-energy alternative for fans of The Cabin in the Woods or Evil Dead. The Goon. For over 2 decades, one comic has stubbornly blended slapstick comedy, gangster noir, and supernatural horror into a genre of its own. That comic is Eric Powell's The Goon, first published in 1999. It follows the titular goon, a hulking mob enforcer who battles a seemingly endless horde of zombies, ghouls, and giant squid-worshipping cultists, all while navigating turf wars with rival gangsters. He's aided by his fast-talking, knife-happy sidekick Frankie, and together they protect their cursed city from the undead army of the zombie priest. The series is famous for its tonal whiplash, shifting from hilarious, over-the-top violence to moments of genuine, heartbreaking tragedy. Powell's distinctive art style feels like a pulp magazine cover come to life. An animated adaptation has been famously stuck in development hell for years, championed by producers David Fincher and Tim Miller. But in 2022, Netflix officially picked up the project, promising to finally bring Powell's R-rated, emotionally complex, and visually unique world to the screen. The Deviant. While many horror comics look to the past for monsters, our next entry finds them in the true crime boom of today. The Deviant, from horror master James Tynion IV and artist Joshua Hickson, is a chilling psychological holiday horror that launched in 2023. The story unfolds across 2 timelines in wintry Milwaukee. In 1972, a killer dressed as Santa Claus terrorizes the city. 50 years later, a writer interviews the man convicted of the crimes, who still claims he's innocent. Just as Christmas approaches, the killings start again. The series is a tense, atmospheric slow burn that interrogates our cultural obsession with serial killers and the historical demonization of queer identity. It's less of a slasher and more of a prestige crime thriller. With its dual timelines and seasonal hook, The Deviant is perfectly structured for a limited series that could become an evergreen holiday staple for horror fans, fitting right alongside dark, character-driven mysteries like Mindhunter. Ain't No Grave. From the psychological horror of the city, we ride into a different kind of nightmare, one born from the dust and grit of the American West. It's a macabre supernatural western from the minds of Scotty Young and Jorge Corona that just launched in 2024. The series follows Ryder, a retired gunslinger who has put down her weapons to raise a family, but when her peaceful life is threatened, she's forced to take on one last job. Her target isn't a rival outlaw or a corrupt sheriff, it's death itself. The story's high concept pitch, a mother hunts down the personification of mortality to save her child, is instantly cinematic. Pitched as Unforgiven through a Guillermo del Toro-esque lens, it blends the raw emotion of a revenge quest with surreal, monstrous fantasy. An Adaptation could tap into the massive resurgence of the Western genre, while its powerful matriarchal hero offers a compelling role for an A-list actress. It's a stylized, emotionally grounded, and genre-bending ride that feels destined for a high-budget film or limited series, appealing to anyone who loves westerns, dark fantasy, or both. Eat the Rich. While some comics use metaphor to explore class divides, this one makes it brutally literal. Eat the Rich, a 2021 satirical horror thriller by Sarah Gailey and Pius Back, is a story that lives up to its title. It follows Joey, a young woman spending the summer with her boyfriend Astor's incredibly wealthy family in their idyllic hometown. She expects social anxiety and awkward dinners. What she finds is a horrifying secret. The town's elite maintain their status by literally practicing cannibalism on their hired help, who are trapped in a grim cycle of consent and exploitation. The story is a sharp, vicious commentary on class warfare, wrapped in a tense, sun-drenched horror setting that feels like The Menu meets Get Out. Its tight, self-contained 5-issue narrative is perfect for a feature film adaptation that could lean into the visual contrast between opulent wealth and grisly violence. With Boom, studio's first-look deal at Netflix, and the current audience appetite for social satire, Eat the Rich is a prime candidate to be the next big conversation starter in the horror space. Somna. From modern satire, we travel back to the 1600s for a different kind of horror, one that's lush, atmospheric, and deeply psychological. Somna, a 2023 masterpiece from Becky Cloonan and Tula Lote, is an erotic folk horror set during the English witch hunts. It centers on Ingrid, a woman trapped in a loveless marriage to the town's zealous witch hunter. As his paranoia and violence escalate, Ingrid finds herself seduced by a mysterious, supernatural entity that visits her in her dreams. The comic utilizes a distinctive dual artist structure that serves the narrative. Cloonan's stark, rigid panels depict the repressive waking world, while Lote's ethereal, flowing art illustrates the liberating dream sequences. This is a mature exploration of desire, power, and repression that feels both dangerous and empowering. It's a project ideal for an art house horror adaptation with a 24 or neon sensibilities, relying on atmosphere, tension, and challenging themes rather than simple jump scares. Visually ambitious and emotionally complex, Somna is exactly the kind of boundary-pushing story that could redefine the erotic thriller for a new generation. Helen of Windhorn. Continuing the theme of literary horror, our next entry blends gothic family drama with epic sword and sorcery. Helen of Windhorn, from superstar writer Tom King and artist Bilquis Evely, is a 2024 fantasy that feels like Wuthering Heights meets Conan the Barbarian. The story follows Helen, the grieving, alcoholic daughter of a famous pulp fiction author. After his death, she's sent to his ancestral estate, where she makes a staggering discovery. The savage, fantastical world from her father's stories is real, and it's bleeding into her reality. The series is a portal fantasy for adults, using its high-adventure premise to explore deep-seated generational trauma and the dangerous allure of escapism. Evely's lavish, detailed art provides a perfect blueprint for a prestige miniseries. The narrative's dual settings, a contained 1940s manor and a sprawling, barbaric fantasy realm, offer a dynamic visual contrast that is both cinematic and production-friendly. It's a complex, emotionally resonant story that subverts fantasy tropes and offers a powerful leading role for an actress ready to tackle both personal demons and literal monsters. Descender. From earthbound fantasy, we launch into a sprawling, heartfelt space opera. Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen's Descender is a 2015 sci-fi epic that flips the killer robot trope on its head. It's set in a galaxy where all androids have been outlawed, following a devastating attack by giant, godlike robots called Harvesters. The story begins when Tim 21, a young companion android, awakens after a decade in stasis. He soon discovers that his unique programming may hold the secret to the Harvesters, making him the most wanted being in the universe. What follows is a desperate chase across the stars as TIM-21, a Pinocchio in a galaxy that hates him, flees bounty hunters and military forces, trying to survive and understand his own existence. Dustin Nguyen's stunning watercolor artwork gives the hard sci-fi world a soft, organic, and deeply emotional feel, making it perfect for a stylized animated adaptation. With a sequel series, Ascender, already complete, Descender offers not just a single story, but a sweeping multi-generational franchise in waiting that combines the scope of Star Wars with the heart of a Spielberg classic. The Good Asian. From the far reaches of the galaxy, we come crashing back to Earth, specifically to a dark and forgotten corner of American history. The Good Asian, by Pornsak Pichetshote and Alexander Tefenkgi, is a 2021 historical noir that feels both classic and revolutionary. Set in 1936 San Francisco Chinatown, it follows Edison Hark, a Chinese-American detective investigating a murder against the grim backdrop of the Chinese Exclusion Act. Hark is a man trapped between two worlds, a cop in a racist system that distrusts him, and a member of a community that sees him as a traitor. The story masterfully revitalizes the detective genre by using its tropes to explore systemic racism and the painful history of Asian American marginalization. Deeply researched and visually atmospheric, it's a story crying out for a prestige streaming adaptation. With James Wan's production company already developing a series, this hard-boiled, socially conscious thriller is poised to reframe the noir genre for a modern audience, offering a complex, career-defining role for a leading Asian American actor. Nailbiter. From the historical horrors of the past, we jump to the present-day terrors of a small town. Joshua Williamson and Mike Henderson's Nailbiter asks a chilling question. What if a single town was the birthplace of 16 of America's most notorious serial killers? First published in 2014, the series is set in Buckaroo, Oregon, a place with a dark secret. When an FBI agent goes missing while investigating the town, his friend, an NSA profiler, is forced to team up with Buckaroo's most infamous son, the acquitted serial killer Edward Nailbiter Warren. Together, they must unravel the mystery of why the town creates monsters. The series is a brilliant blend of procedural mystery and slasher horror, with a charismatic Hannibal Lecter-style anti-hero at its center. Its mystery box structure and escalating stakes are perfect for a binge-worthy serialized thriller. With a Twin Peaks meets Seven vibe, Nailbiter offers a compelling, villain-focused narrative in development as a series, promising a unique and terrifying small-town nightmare for the screen. Once and Future. While some monsters are born from small towns, others are resurrected from ancient myths. Kieran Gillen and Dan Mora's Once and Future, which began in 2019, is a high-octane horror action series that turns Arthurian legend on its head. When a group of British nationalists brings King Arthur back from the dead, they don't get a noble hero, they get a genocidal undead tyrant. The only person who can stop him is Bridget Maguire, a ruthless, shotgun-wielding grandmother and retired monster hunter, who drags her unsuspecting academic grandson Duncan into the fight. The series is a fast-paced, visually stunning reimagining of British folklore, subverting expectations with an elderly action hero and sharp political commentary on the dangers of nationalism. It's a perfect candidate for a streaming series that blends the action of John Wick with the monster-hunting fun of Supernatural. With a first-look deal at Netflix, Once and Future is a prime property ready to introduce audiences to a new kind of action hero and a terrifyingly modern take on a classic legend. Black Science. If one resurrected myth can threaten the world, what happens when you shatter the boundaries of all realities? That's the premise of Rick Remender and Matteo Scalera's Black Science, a chaotic, dimension-hopping sci-fi adventure that launched in 2013. The series follows Grant McKay, an anarchist scientist who invents the Pillar, a device that punches through dimensions. But when it's sabotaged, he, his family, and his team are thrown into the Eververse, a seemingly infinite multiverse of hostile and bizarre worlds. They are constantly on the run, facing everything from technologically advanced Native American empires to worlds ruled by psychic fungi, all while trying to repair the Pillar and get home. This is a darker, grittier, and more emotionally raw take on the multiverse, focusing on the consequences of unchecked ambition and the struggles of a dysfunctional family. Its kinetic, unpredictable storytelling and imaginative visuals make it a perfect fit for a high-budget adult animated series, like Arcane or Scavenger's Reign, offering a wild, punk rock alternative to mainstream multiverse stories. Lazarus. From the chaos of infinite dimensions, we land in a single, terrifyingly plausible future. Greg Rucka and Michael Lark's Lazarus is a 2013 dystopian epic that feels less like science fiction and more like a grim forecast. In a world reshaped by economic collapse, 16 wealthy families rule over a neo-feudal society, dividing the population into valued serfs and disposable waste. Each family maintains power with a genetically engineered super soldier known as a Lazarus. The story centers on Forever Carlyle, the Lazarus of her family, who begins to question her programming, her identity, and the brutal system she was created to uphold. The series is a masterclass in world-building, blending visceral, grounded action with dense political intrigue and complex character drama. It has the backstabbing court politics of Succession mixed with the high-stakes action of a spy thriller. With a long-form narrative perfect for a streaming series, Lazarus is the kind of prestige sci-fi that could become the next Game of Thrones, exploring timeless themes of power, family, and rebellion in a world that feels one step away from our own. East of West. From one dystopian vision, we move to another that's even grander in scale, an apocalyptic sci-fi western. Jonathan Hickman and Nick Dragotta's East of West, from 2013, imagines an alternate America where the Civil War never truly ended. A comet strike fractured the continent into 7 warring nations, all secretly manipulated by a prophecy foretelling the end of the world. The story follows Death, one of the 4 horsemen, who abandons his duty to protect his family and hunt the conspirators who betrayed him. It's a sprawling saga combining political intrigue with mythic stakes. With its massive scope and intricate world-building, East of West is perfectly suited for a high-budget prestige series, like Dune meets Game of Thrones. The rights are currently available, leaving this epic waiting for a studio bold enough to bring its incredible vision to life. Savage Dragon. While many comics freeze their heroes in time, our next entry does the exact opposite. Erik Larsen's Savage Dragon, one of the original Image Comics titles from 1992, is a superhero police procedural with a unique twist. It follows a green-skinned, fin-headed amnesiac who joins the Chicago PD to fight superpowered criminals. The most revolutionary part? The story unfolds in real time. Characters age, have families, and die permanently. The original Dragon's son, Malcolm, now carries the mantle, creating a generational saga unlike anything in comics. This real-time evolution makes it ideal for a long-form television series, blending the action of a cop show with superhero spectacle. With its potential for practical effects and a narrative that constantly moves forward, Savage Dragon offers a grounded, legacy-driven alternative to the static timelines of Marvel and DC. Saga. Finally, we arrive at the holy grail of unadapted comics, a series so imaginative it's often called unadaptable. Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples' Saga, from 2012, is a sweeping space opera that's part Star Wars, part Romeo and Juliet, and entirely its own thing. It tells the story of Alana and Marco, 2 soldiers from warring alien races who fall in love and have a child named Hazel. The series follows their desperate flight across a hostile galaxy, hunted by bounty hunters, robot royalty, and both of their governments. Narrated by an adult Hazel, it's a funny, heartbreaking, and profound story about family, war, and survival. While the creators have resisted adaptation, a high-budget adult animated series in the style of Arcane seems like the only way to faithfully capture Fiona Staples' iconic art and the story's mature themes. So which of these comics do you most want to see get the Hollywood treatment? Are there any overlooked gems that we missed on this list? Let us know your dream adaptations in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more Explainerverse videos just like this one.